1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Early in the morning, about the break of dawn, get myself up and I put the coffee on, and I check on my strings in case I need new ones. Couple left unstrung, and there's nothing like new strings putting on new wings, coming to me a big blue day. Walking down these old streets, I strum a favorite tune. People smile and tap their feet to the beat, and it's got me thinking of you. And I'll check on my strings in case I need new ones. Couple left unstrung, and there's nothing like new strings putting on new wings, coming to me a big blue day. You made me think about it way back when I was just listening to the wind whistling. So just remember where this is coming from. And if you ever come home, baby, bring your guitar and your drum, and I'll check on my strings in case I need new ones. Couple left unstrung, and there's nothing like new strings putting on new wings, coming to me a big blue day. Woo, we got it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Red Monk and Wolf Girls Fargo Moorhead Music Podcast. We have Gina and Mitch.
Yay!
Hey guys.
This is episode 8. I don't know if you guys knew that, but you are episode 8.
It's pretty exciting.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so. My goal is 10. After that, I'm going to,
Retire.
and go work on the next phase. But I'm like, once I have 10, I'm going to start like shopping it around, see if like the, High Plains reader wants to know about it or something. I want to see what I can do with it
Hey, I love it. Yeah, super cool.
after 10, because I just want to have a series going. So that's season 1.
We love being season 1, the premiere season. When,
Right?
Yeah, when stuff was really awesomely raw and just freaking authentic. This
Yes.
is where I want to be.
Yes.
Yes, 2019, making it happen.
Nice. It is. We're just like fresh into the year. And you got any New Year's resolutions? Let's play more music.
Improve every day.
That's right. Better than yesterday.
Better than yesterday.
Yeah.
So you guys are here representing the Gina Powers band, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And this is Gina and Mitch. So, all right. So I want to know, and I guess we'll just ask you guys each one at a time, but when and why, Gina, did you start playing?
Ask Mitch first.
Hey, Mitch, when and why did you start playing?
Oh, jeez. Well, I've been playing music almost my whole life, so I think for the most part it wasn't that big of a part of my life until maybe more like 5th or 6th grade when I started playing guitar. I did like violin and stuff prior to that, but it's more about just finding something that did it for me. Yeah.
I hear that. Was it a process for you, or did you just love it, Gina?
Well, I've just always music. Yeah, just music, I think. Well, you know that, Peter. You're a musician. It's just music. Sometimes
Right.
just there's something about music that grabs you at some point before you even think about it, I think. And there you have it. You're musicking. But as far as serious music and full-time living music, that's only been within the last couple years. Mitch here has always made a living at his music since he was a teen.
I've been gigging since high school, so
Yeah, nice.
it's been a trip.
That's cool. Always on bass?
Yeah. By high school, I pretty much felt like bass is what I gravitated towards the most. So
Yeah.
I do dabble with other instruments, but it's kind of just for fun.
Yeah, right on.
All right. So, Mitch, what was the first song that you learned?
First song I ever learned. Out of my actual recollection, when I think when I first started playing guitar, "Smoke on the Water."
Yes.
Because that has to be your first song.
It has to be. Yeah. If you're legit, I think it kind of does. Yeah.
There it is.
You know, people give that song a lot of grief, but I had a request for it just the other night. Somebody at the Diamond came up and wanted to hear it. I'm like, take me back to when I was 15 and I'll play it for you right now. But
It's a pretty good song.
It's actually a good
It's more of a
song,
song
yeah.
than just that riff. Too,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
right? It's an
Yeah.
interesting story, too.
Yeah.
A true story.
And Gina, what was the first song you learned?
The first song I remember learning and singing all the way through was Leo Sayers' "When I Need You."
just
I
don't
know we
it.
discussed this too because
Deja vu.
Deja Vu, we've talked about this Leo Sayer cat. He had this really great song called "When I Need You." It was just the most beautiful song, and it touched me so. And I was about 5, and I could sing it all the way through.
Yeah.
And I just love it. And there is a version of it on The Muppet Show.
Oh.
And so I encourage you all to check it out.
The Muppet Show. I love The Muppet Show.
Yes. After I was thinking about this song more recently, anticipating this potential question, I actually listened to the song again,
Did you?
and it's a great song. Yeah, I can see how my little 5-year-old self loved it.
Neat.
Yeah. Yeah. Check it out, Peter. You will not be sorry. You
Okay.
too, Mitch. Check it out.
Don't let me forget. I don't want to, unless you want to do it on your phone, honey.
One of these days.
Nice. So, what's the last song, Mitch, that you listened to by choice?
Duality by Slipknot. We listened to that right before we left to come here.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because the story behind us listening to that song was she said she learned how to play a song in a dream and how it reminded her of a story I told where in college I woke up remembering a dream where I wrote a song and then I went to actually write it and then I listened to it and it sounded familiar.
Huh.
And I ended up writing the main riff to Duality again. So I had to throw it away because obviously it was already used.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah. It was a good riff.
It was a great riff.
It's a good riff.
Yeah.
Right?
It was a
Right.
good riff. Yeah. So
What was your song?
well, it was the same dang song because we were
I guess-
listening to the darn song together, but
And it was your choice or a shared choice?
yeah,
This is shared
absolutely.
choice, yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
for
Slipknot.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
Slipknot, yeah, which is ridiculous, I'm supposed to think that me, when was the last country band? But what are you gonna do? Eclectic music taste.
It's from the Midwest.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
there's
Is
the
that
relation.
tie? Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Midwesterners love we love our heavy metal. We love our you know,
Corn.
Korn, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Really, back when I came up, we just loved Metallica around here.
Right.
Yes.
And Slayer and Megadeth and all that, you know, and we all played it. There was a lot of bands back then that played. I'm talking like 90s,
Right.
you know, when I was in high school. But, like, yeah, it's different now. There's still a metal scene, I understand.
It's like
Like Red Raven. Kind of.
yeah, there's you know the extreme music genre kind of group of people, and there's really a lot hardcore is kind of
Yeah.
thing going around now. Not I guess what we would traditionally call metal, I guess. But
Yes.
it's all heavy, I guess. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. And metal is all about that subdivision. Like, you got
Yeah.
all these subgenres, and do not confuse them.
Oh yeah.
Because
How dare you?
how dare you?
Right. Right. Which makes it a bit intimidating for somebody
It
like
is.
me who's, you know, I have my metal bands that I like and my stuff, but I don't necessarily want to categorize them. But I have to just shut my mouth because I will get in
don't wanna get in
trouble.
trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Go ahead on.
So Mitch is your family musical.
No. My dad did some percussion in high school. Other than that, we don't really it was more what's the word? They're very supportive in me doing music, even though because they didn't really do it themselves, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
I find music is to my other family members who don't play. I thought they maybe saw me as a bum or something, but they actually see me as, like, you know, from what they say, they're impressed that I committed myself to something like this. You know,
It's a fine line.
it is a fine line.
Musician. Right?
Musician. Oh man.
Gina is your family musical.
Yes, actually, my family is musical to varying degrees. So my grandfather was just cleaning up some stuff and found a CD that my grandfather had made with some really neat old jazz standards. Yeah. So,
Oh, neat.
yeah. Got some aunts, some singers and things. Mostly singers. I got a lot of singers in the family.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's, you know, you inherited a gift.
Yes, I guess. And since it's a physical instrument, I suppose the DNA and the genetics of a certain physiology, maybe, I don't know,
Right.
maybe that contributes.
You know, like look at Judy Garland and Liza Minnelli.
True.
You know,
True.
there's definitely some inheritance there.
For sure.
Ready for a music break?
Yeah, we should do a music break.
All right.
Alrighty.
1, 2, 3, 4.
How strong is the southern pole? Stronger than my troubled soul. Vivid are the memories in the heart. I don't know what keeps us apart. First you promised you'd be there. Who said love had to be fair? By day you say so many things. Night your phone it rings and rings. When was the last time you talked to me softly? When was the last time we touched? When was the last time you spoke to me kindly? I used to miss that so much. We've been throwing sticks and stones, wrecking up our happy home, trying to light it up, but it's still dark. Angry words that make their mark. See, I'm looking everywhere, find that spark, it's just not there. One day it's baby, I love you now. Suddenly I'm your fool. When was the last time you talked to me softly? When was the last time we touched? When was the last time you spoke to me kindly? I used to miss that so much. When was the last time you talked to me softly? When was the last time we touched? When was the last time you spoke to me kindly? And I used to miss that so much. I used to miss that so much. I used to miss that so much. Thank you.
Is this it?
It is.
Can you sing it? Sing on.
Yes, I can sing it.
Give us some. Give us some. It's already happening.
Excuse me.
1976.
Here we go.
Year I was born.
When I need you, just close my eyes and I'm with you. And all that I so wanna give you is only a heartbeat away. Yes, I can sing it all day song.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you. And the song is really adorable, and I can only think that I was singing it to my mom, you know, because
Yeah.
who else do you love at that age? Your parents, right?
suppose.
So, yeah, it makes me smile to think that I had that awesome love
Oh,
when I was a kid.
that's
It's beautiful. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of the first song I ever learned when I was little.
What was that?
I learned to sing The Rose by Bette Midler.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness!
yes.
Of course, that's awesome. All right, come on, Jerry, fire it up for us.
Yeah. Give us some Rose. I used to know it on guitar. I forgot. It's like A minor. Oh.
I used to know it on piano. It was like the one song I could play on the piano because I think there's like 3 notes in the whole song, kind of like
Right.
the way.
Just a variation on the.
Yeah. So we'll have to revisit that one of these days, Jerry.
Yes, that would be cool.
Perhaps a When I Need You, The Rose medley of sorts.
Right.
Some kind of a mashup.
Oh my gosh. So where are we?
But we digress.
We digress. So, Gina, what famous musicians do you admire and have learned from?
Okay, this is such a hard question to answer. I have learned, I suppose, from many musicians over time, and it's hard to name because there's so many. Carole King, Pat Benatar, Joan Jett. I mean, just like Joan Baez, Joni Mitchell, Sade, Barbara Streisand, Rod Stewart, and Teddy Pendergrass, and Aretha, and Bonnie. I don't know, so many. And then newer ones too that influence you, you know, like, and then Mariah Carey came out, and then that was Christina, and blah, blah, blah. And now we have this whole crazy, awesome, cool vocal things we do that never even existed back in the day. So I guess everybody. I'm influenced by anything that I hear that touches me or I find interesting. But what I learn the most from and who I learn the most from are my colleagues and fellow musicians that I play with, and I'm fortunate to play with because we have such amazingly talented, giving musicians in this community.
Right.
So, yeah, seriously. So I think Mitch probably taught me 2 things just this week. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been educational.
One was probably like, don't play that E minor there, Gina. That's an A. No, I'm just kidding. But no, just to say, I think we learn from each other, don't we? Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And so that would be my answer.
All right. So, what about you, Mitch? Famous musicians you admire and have learned from?
So it's kind of like influences, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I listen to a wide variety of music, and so I've kind of like drawn influences from other bassists or even just like songwriters or people on other instruments. what, like, kind of like James Jamerson, Jocko, Dan Briggs from Between the Buried and Me is maybe a lesser known one, progressive metal band. Really good stuff. He does a lot of arranging and orchestrating for their music. What would be some others? I listen to a lot of funk, so like Graham, kind of like funk rock. Yeah, like Rage Against the Machine with Tim.
Yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers with Flea.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So I'm metal, rock, jazz, fusion, all everywhere. Kind of take influence from everything. Kind of. So when I play my own bass lines to music, it's kind of a little more cultured than just being like, oh, I'm playing a country song, so I'm just gonna play the most country bass line. It's like I'm gonna say how I say stuff, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I play a lot of bar band stuff. And I'm like, I got to squeeze my own thing in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And especially like when it comes to playing lead guitar, I figure my lead licks, I can play those better than I can play the ones I've learned from somebody else. So I just do my own a lot of
It's
times.
it's more natural
It is,
to
yeah.
yourself because you do what you do. It's like when you find a lick that's like, maybe the emphasis is like weird. Like I would never write with that emphasis on it. I would play like this,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Exactly.
Wasn't that where the artistry of musicianship and all that comes in, right? Because we
Right.
can all play an A chord. We can all
Yes.
do
Are
that.
you assuming that?
Oh,
Just
maybe,
kidding. I'm kidding.
yeah, maybe not. But, as an example, for instance. But it's your particular voice on the bass that makes the Gina Powers Band sound like the Gina Powers Band, for instance.
Just like Flea makes Red Hot Chili Peppers sound like Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes.
There you have
Yes.
it.
Yeah, imagine if Sting played for that instead.
Right.
Something,
Different. Right. It'd just be different. Right.
It'd be pretty different.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What about you, Wolf Girl? Name one influence.
John Mayer.
John Mayer.
Oh, sure.
He's super talented. He's a great singer and a great guitar player. Whole package. What are you gonna do?
Do you like Jason Mraz at all? Have you ever got... I really dig Jason Mraz.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Right?
Nobody's
around
doing
there.
any Jason Mraz at the open mics.
No, nobody does.
We need to remedy this, friends.
Okay, let's learn a Jason Mraz song
Let's do
for the
it.
next jam.
Let's do it.
I used to know I'm Yours.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
It's just a 4-chord repeat.
There's good harmony opportunities in there.
Yeah, that one's a duet.
Is it?
It is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do it as a duet.
I thought it is a duet 'cause it's boy-girl harmony.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah,
Nice.
there you go. Guys, make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Somebody text me. Or as I'm editing this, I'll like, oh yeah.
So, Gina, did you have any music teachers? If so, who were they?
Oh, that's a great question, I guess. In a way, I kind of answered part of that in my last answer, in the sense that my music teachers are often my colleagues and friends in the music world
Right.
every day. But I have one that I particularly loved, Barbara Lee. She was a choral director in Reno, Nevada, at Reno High School, and she was tremendous. And she was such a amazing choral director that choir became a cool thing to do, so that even the athletes were in the choir. So we had people from the football team and from ROTC and from, everywhere and every nook in a really big school. And yeah, so Barbara Lee, shout out to Dr. Barbara Lee.
Barbara Lee.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope she's still singing and
Right?
teaching people to sing. Yeah. Yeah. Had a great choir.
That is wonderful.
Yeah. She taught us theory and stuff too, like in 9th and 10th grade. That
Really?
Yeah. Nobody did that in choir. In choir,
No.
No.
It was a separate
No.
class at least.
Right. Everybody would be taught their line. Okay, altos sing this, sopranos sing this, basses sing this, if you had basses. And, if you had boys in the choir,
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's not how she did it. She was like, all right, this is how it works. And the only reason I knew any theory was because of Barbara Lee, which is very
Nice.
minimal, right?
Oh,
I was in college for music, so I guess.
Compared to Mitch, but you know what? Hey, I'm a good singer though, so I'm gonna lock into that. Woohoo!
so Mitch, you've had a lot of teachers.
Yeah, so I've had a lot of teachers throughout the years, but each one kind of offers something to pick up from each of them, So like my first guitar and bass teacher, Doug Klein out in Bismarck, teaches guitar at BSC. He, I guess, opened my eyes to a lot of music that I didn't know about at the time when I was younger.
Right.
So, that stuff I found, got me excited and, took off from there. In college, I started with Bill Law at NDSU for his last couple of years teaching bass and, learned some good commie movement in my left hand. And then Doug Klein, I already said Doug Klein. Doug Neal, the other Doug. He teaches in a lot of places around here. He was my last teacher, and worked on a lot of funk reading and some upright bass and whatnot. So
Nice.
yeah.
So, how do you handle mistakes during a performance, Gina?
Well, usually I just smack Mitch because it's obviously not me. It's just part of performance, I think. I had to get that one in there with the
Right.
theory. Well, Anyway, no, I think it's part of performance, and you just have to weave it in. Sometimes mistakes are where the magic happens.
Yes.
So you just roll with it, and everybody's invested in a good performance, and so you just work together to get back on the road, I guess, so to
Right.
speak.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you just stop the show. You're like, well, we got to iron through it a little bit.
Right. Excuse me.
Snowplow through it.
Excuse us, folks. We're gonna workshop this
Yeah.
this section, this bridge. So we didn't like the way we came into this here.
Right.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's part of performance, and it's, we're human beings, and we're going to make mistakes from time to time. But that, again, too, the artistry comes in there, and the musicianship, and ultimately we're there to have a good time, right? So if you make a mistake and it feels like the world has ended, well, then maybe it's just you're taking it too seriously.
Yeah.
It's art, it's creation, it's all that stuff. So let it be, and breathe and relax, and try not to make mistakes, but if they happen, it's okay. That's how I handle it.
Nice. Namaste.
Namaste. I don't know if my bandmate would say that that's a correct assessment of my mistake handling.
I don't know.
How do you handle mistakes?
I guess for me, it's more about, like, I know they're gonna happen. You can't. Hopefully, you don't know where it's gonna happen, because then obviously you should have been working on it. But
Right.
I think it's more about learning how to make your mistakes sound good or not sound like mistakes at all. So, mistake gracefully, I guess.
Gracefully.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and then you don't have to worry about it because you know that it wasn't so jarring.
Right. Yeah. You touched on something that's a pet peeve of mine. Would you ever work with somebody that makes the same mistake every night in the same spot? And you're like,
Right.
here we go again. Hit the wrong chord on this note or whatever.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not here. I'm just kidding.
Oh, it's that darn E minor. And I play.
minor.
Yeah, God.
But I'm talking about the type of person that isn't willing to learn it right. They just play it wrong every time and don't care, And you can bring it up to them, they're like, "Oh, whatever."
Right,
"Oh,
that's
You
frustrating.
played it wrong. I don't know.
I think we're pretty lucky. I think the members of the band are less about the ego and more about making sure that the song's right and sounds good, So hopefully nobody would be like, I'm playing it that way, whether you like it or not. I'm going to make that same mistake every week. Yeah, measure 2, beat 3, watch it. It's gonna be a mistake.
Right? Exactly. I don't know, Wolf Girl, how do you handle mistake?
Better than I used to.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's definitely taken some learning,
Right?
but just keep going.
Yes. The song goes on. And the more you stop and point out the mistake, the more people are going to notice it, I guess. So. I figure nobody notices that stuff. They're not as picky as we are.
Especially if it's an original, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of
Yeah.
people that maybe have never heard the song before, so they wouldn't be able to tell.
That's how it goes.
Unless
yeah.
it is jarring.
it's jarring.
Then they might notice.
Yeah. Unless you start smacking each other
Then
on
you-
stage.
they
or
ask, and you're
something.
like, no, that was for the song.
Yeah.
We
That
want it to be
dissonant
jarring
chord.
there.
Yeah.
So, Gina, do you get nervous before a performance?
Not usually, but performance instances that are unfamiliar to me can make me. I tend to feel a little bit more anxious at those times. So
Like a new venue or...
not as much a new venue, more like a new thing, like just something I've never done. Like, I don't know, say I was gonna play a big football game or something like that with a big audience I wasn't used to, or open a big concert at Blue Stem or something like that. It's not something I've had an opportunity to do. That would be something that I would get nervesy over. Absolutely.
Right.
I think every time you go to a different level or do a different thing that you haven't had an experience, for me, where I haven't had the experience, that's when I get nervous. Generally, if I've done something once, I'm ridiculously and stupidly overconfident and far more than I ought to be.
Did you ever like go to a gig and it's bigger than you thought it was going to be? Like you didn't know, like I played Ribfest one time and I didn't know. what it
Oh
was
my
gonna be
gosh,
like that. I
Peter,
had no
you're
idea.
kidding.
No, I was
that would have
completely-
been very daunting had
Yes.
you not known. Oh my gosh.
I was totally
Like, think you're
taken-
going to a small venue gig and it's everybody in town is
Yeah.
there, literally.
Well, I've played
Yeah.
the fairgrounds and like the beer gardens of the fairgrounds,
Sure.
and you barely get a crowd. You just get a couple stragglers sometimes, you know, or like after the show you get a crowd. But you know, I thought it was going to be like that. I thought it was going to be like people coming and going. No, it was like, you know, it was a show.
Awesome.
It was a big old show. But
Did you have a good time?
yes, yeah, it was fun.
Very
Who
cool.
were you playing with?
That was with Boomtown.
Oh, okay.
We played Ribfest. That was a good one, and we had a photographer there, and she got some great pictures of just, you know, this huge crowd. and
That would
stuff.
be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. But what I didn't know, did not know what I was in for. It was kind of cool.
Surprise. So you didn't even have to be nervous because
Yeah.
you didn't have to be until you got there and realized
Until I
you're
got
in
there.
it. And
Yep.
then now what are you going to do? Run screaming out of the place? No, you got to
Right.
just stick it and make it work.
Right.
Yeah.
Mitch, how about you? Do you get nervous?
I would say almost never now, because I think most of the time when I was nervous, it was mostly because I was unprepared. So, I guess if I ever am unprepared, it's kind of like a too late thing, and worrying about it would just make me play worse. So, kind of just do your best anyway. That's how I deal with it. But I'm usually prepared.
Yeah, that helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Who would have thought?
I know, right?
Yeah. A little practice and preparation.
Well worth it. I think maybe we should take another
One more question.
question, huh? Well, how about what advice, Gina, would you give to a beginning musician?
What advice? Just enjoy music and just play. Play, sing, do whatever it is you do, and don't apologize for it. And you don't have to listen or do things that are cool. Just whatever you like, that's cool. And yeah, that's what I would say. And do a lot of different stuff if you want to. You don't have to pick one thing. You can pick a lot of stuff, but maybe you do just have that one thing that you love to do. Do that. And Mitch has a lot of really cool things to say, actually, that I'd like him to say instead of me. So
you're passing the torch.
I'm passing the torch on to Mitch.
All right, Mitch,
Right,
what
what
do
am
you
I
got?
supposed to be saying here? What would I would say learn to take criticism, and you're not going to get good by not putting any work in. And that's, once you actually put the work in to being better, that's where the actual fun is. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I guess if you want to have fun, you got to put some work into it, and then you're going to be proud of what you did, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So I guess don't get discouraged about it. Just keep on going at it. It takes consistency.
Yeah.
Yep.
Slow and steady wins the race, right?
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
See, I told you he'd say something really cool. I knew he would. But you also say this really cool thing about not comparing yourself to other musicians and other people and other learners, because it is important that you compare yourself to yourself. Are you getting better? Are you getting more confident and more comfortable? That's what matters, not what other people are doing and not what other people like. It's what you're doing and what you like that matters. Keep at it. Be patient.
Yes, patience. It's like being a musician. I saw this YouTube video and the guy described being a musician. It's a skill that it takes like at least a decade to develop of your life, if not more. I know for me it was more. But some people don't put enough value on the skill they developed. They think it was just playing, or I've just been screwing around or something. But, you know, it's not true. And like those of us here, we make money off of it. And you have to take it seriously. And sometimes you have to stand up for yourself as an artist. Like, I worked really hard on this skill, you know, whether you went to college or not for it. It's like, represents a huge chunk of my life. I put in specifically learning to play music good, you know, and getting better all the time too.
Absolutely. And you have to keep working on your craft. It's not like you learn it when you're in 5th grade and then you're done. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You don't go from 5th to 10th, you've learned your instrument. Ta-da, you're the best recorder player in town and you'll always be, you know? So, I mean, I practice daily. I know Mitch practices. I mean, we all practice. You practice, Jerry. I mean, we all do. We have to. We don't just get up and just play a song because the chord sheet's in front of. I mean, we can. We're professional musicians, but at the same time, yeah, it doesn't sound as good as it could if you practice. So, yeah, it's a lifelong learning process. I feel like I'm always a beginner musician, in a way. You know?
I do know. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So the artist, the big, you know, the artist depression. Oh God, like
I know, right?
I'll never be good enough. I'll never know all the things there are to know. Isn't that what every musician though really is like? Yeah.
I wish I could be good at all of it today.
Yeah.
And Jerry does that all the time. She's like, I'm learning lead guitar this week. You know, I teach her some lead guitar lessons. She picks it up right away.
Yeah.
You know, but then next week she's like, well, I'm gonna like learn this, you know, and she like has a new following every so often. But
very cool.
Always learning.
Always learning.
Always
yeah.
expanding. And
always getting better, because it's so fun to watch you guys bring a new song, because there's always something neat, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this sounds so good. So you guys work at it. Seriously, I'm not just blowing smoke up your butts. I'm being totally serious. I really enjoy watching you guys and listening to you play.
Oh, thank you.
You bet. Yeah.
Well, we enjoy watching and listening to you.
Thank you. I appreciate
which,
that.
We probably should do again.
That's
great.
great.
A little break? All right. Let's take a break.
Never thought it would come to this, hanging on every word, trying to see if something got in. Shadows look around every turn, things that we learn seem so absurd. You say it's all okay, I just need to relax. Everything is up in the air, flying right above my head. My feet are trying to stay on the ground. No, we've been down this road, heavier the load, the more I give in. You say it's all okay, and I just need to relax. I say it is not okay. No, 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 love, it shouldn't feel like that. Baby, I just wanna go home. Baby, I just need to go home. I'm feeling empty when I'm far, crying all alone. Baby, I just wanna go home. Where the stars shine bright, moon it shines the darkest night. We're gonna miss it if we keep looking down. And baby, I just wanna go home. Baby, I just need to go home. I'm feeling empty when I'm far, in the crowd I'm all alone. Baby, I just wanna go home. Baby, I just need to go home. Baby, I just need to go home.
So, Gina, what is your favorite decade in music?
There's no way for me to name a favorite decade in music. There's just so many things about the different decades of music, and they all contribute. And it's fun to watch music cycle back and grab things from prior decades and then bring them up to the new contemporary time. However, there are some things about music that I didn't love in the 80s. I'm just going to tell you. Some of it, I had to pretend I liked just because that's how it works when you're in 8th grade.
Right.
But yeah, there was some 80s stuff that was just crap. I'm not even kidding.
Right.
I don't find as much crap in the 70s and in there's crap. There's crap in every decade. There's good stuff and there's not good stuff. And what I define as complete crap, somebody else is like, "Oh my God, my soul has just been quenched right now by this vibrational experience." So, I let me not be a hater, which is why I'm not going to say what I find crap, to be honest with you, because I don't want to hate on anybody else's experience.
Right.
So that's my answer. Did I even answer the question at all?
I think it was more what you don't like than what you do. But you were reluctant to specify.
I don't want to hate, but this is all about what I don't
What
like.
I hate. Fair enough. Okay.
We'll take it. That's the
I'm
answer.
contradictorily hypocritical, maybe. I don't know. I'll try not to be.
Mitch, do you have a favorite decade or?
Yeah, there's good and bad in every decade. So I guess to answer the question, I'd look at it as the trend of music as a whole in the decade, like what it's all about. Because I find that I tend to gravitate towards like 70s and 90s rock and metal. And I thought about this a lot. I guess for me, I think about how like in the 60s rock was really like experimental and jammy. It wasn't really like polished up yet. and I feel like the 70s rock kind of struck the balance between, kind of polishing up a bit, but not being overproduced like in the late 70s and 80s. Yeah, and then the 90s, of course, had that whole slap back from that overproduction back to being a little more raw, and the energy and experimentation I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. You got like
Gosh, yeah, a really good answer,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, that was a great answer.
Thank you.
that's neat. I've thought that too. It's like you got stuff like Led Zeppelin, which is kind of jammy mixed with great songwriting and stuff.
They kind of transcend two decades too, because you got their 60s stuff and then their 70s stuff gets kind of like progressive,
right?
Very interesting.
And then when you get into like the 80s, I don't like a lot of the overproduced things.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I refer to as
the super
Overproduction.
cheese.
Yeah, I just don't like it. I don't like the super cheese. Yeah.
And I think it's definitely come around again. In fact, I feel like we're kind of stuck in a rut now.
Oh, we're in Wisconsin right now.
We're in Wisconsin.
Lots of cheese.
Lots of cheese. Yes.
Cheddar heads. Okay.
I got this theory. It might date me, but I think like when Britney Spears came around, everything changed. Everything became like this pop, and it never went back. Yeah. Like because we had that last blast of rock and roll in the 90s. All that great Nirvana and stuff.
Yep.
And then it went totally pop, and it just sort of stayed there. And it's been there ever since, like differing levels of pop. Seems to me like at least, in the popular realm.
Although then you had Alanis come out in the mid 90s, and I don't consider her pop by any means. I mean,
No, I don't either.
And she's quite edgy actually at the time, because what she says now by today's standards seems like really benign, but at the time she was saying that stuff. It was big deal, and the sound was different. It was really noisy and neat and different. So, but maybe that's part of that whole.
I think he was talking about maybe a little later than that.
Yeah,
Britney
I just think the
Spears
Britney
would be
Spears thing on.
When did
That,
Britney Spears come
it's
out?
like 99.
Yeah,
kinda.
Oh, is she that late? I guess I'm dating myself because it's all just one long decade that happened. And
yeah, I'd put Alanis more towards when people were making.
she's the middle.
songs and
Yeah.
stuff then.
Okay. Well, fair enough then.
But I just
So then
felt
it
like-
all fell off after her, huh?
Yeah.
99.
I always felt like 2001 was the year.
2001.
That's the year I put music
Everything
getting
went to hell.
Yeah, that's
in a
where I put because
handbasket?
like all the
Heck.
rock music started getting more produced, and then your metal kind of became a lot more like you got like the post grunge going all like arena rock.
Yeah.
And like all your new metal bands get watered down, and
Yes, watered down. That's a good.
That happens to a lot of bands in like any decade. Like the 70s prog bands releasing stuff in the 80s was just terrible for most of them. I'd say Rush would probably be the only exception, but it's just like stuff like that. Like you get famous for this, and then they kind of do something else, and it's just like maybe mostly for the money or the label or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It's weird. Oh, where are we at? So, what were you like in high school, Gina?
Oh my goodness.
Rebel. You were a rebel.
No, a little. Yeah, I was a little. No, I was a little nerdy, kind of weird.
Oh, really?
I had a hard time fitting in. I moved a lot, so I struggled to find a peer group that I fit into. But
That's hard.
yeah, it can be. But I was in ROTC, and I was also a musician, a singer and stuff. So I had my little cliques that I hung out with. Then I came to Fargo in the middle of 1985 and finished high school out here. It was a blast. Had lots of really good friends and did the ROTC nerdy music thing. And
Did you have like a really sweet uniform then?
my uniform was totally sweet. Absolutely.
Nice.
It was always completely squared away.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfectly.
Squared away.
Squared away.
Squared away. So, yeah. And then I did what everybody else does in North Dakota. I drank a lot of beer and went and watched the hockey games and, went to the house parties on the weekends and, studied hard and drove fast. all that stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
What were you like in high school, Peter?
I was all about classical music.
Really?
And yes, I was totally a nerd.
I would not have guessed that.
Well, I went through a thing, but I was like, I was playing in bands and stuff, and I had that scene. I had long hair, but I just got all academic about like music and stuff. Not so much about the math and whatever. I just wanted to learn music really hard, you know, and like be artistic and creative. And I like delved into that. And I actually missed out in my high school years. I missed out on all the music that was going on because I was just so much into classical or like learning about jazz. And yeah, that was me in high school. It was weird.
But that's very cool, and it's a prime example of what we were just talking about not all that long ago, is when you're a young musician, you don't have to like what everybody else likes or do what everybody else does, because here you were listening and working on classical, and now look at you, you make your living doing music, and you don't necessarily play classical music. No. And you know what I mean? But so I think that's a very cool story and a surprise. Learned something new about you, Peter.
There you go.
Mitch?
All right. Me in high school. All right. I was I don't know, a band nerd would be exactly it, but it's just, you know, just the group of people I would hang out with. Otherwise, I'd basically keep to myself, play a lot of video games. Really long hair.
Really?
Really long hair. I had it down to my nipples at the longest.
Did I see an old picture with you with dreadlocks?
That was in college.
Oh,
of course.
Wait, from college. That's funny. Yeah.
Nice. We have different eras of. I'd like to see all your hairstyles just lined up. You know. That'd be cool.
Jeez. That
sounds fun.
I don't think I need to see that.
That would be a great album cover.
Right? That's
Just
what I would do with Jerry.
different
She's got
hairstyle.
so many hairstyles. I want to see them all, like, side by side. I'll go through all my old pictures. Even since I've known you, you've had a number of different hairstyles.
You've pretty much stayed the same.
I have, right? I used to have long hair, and then I went bald, and then I was long hair with bald and on top, and then I shaved it off finally. And it was so much easier since I shaved it off. So much less maintenance.
Right?
Just shaving.
I was always afraid of what I was going to look like with short hair again.
Right.
After having long hair, and then I did, I was like, I don't even want it touching my neck or anything. Just
Right?
like,
Yeah. I don't want it at all anymore. But...
So, Gina, what's your favorite place to eat in the Fargo-Moorhead area?
Oh my gosh. How did I not anticipate this question?
Yes.
It's our non-musical question.
Unless it's chicken pot pie. It's pretty musical.
Good one. Gosh, that's a tough one to ask. I really like downtown. I like a lot of the different places downtown. There's always some place fun to eat. I like the Hodo. They have a bison burger that's really tasty.
No.
Yeah. I like the side street. It has a really good Reuben. And yeah.
What makes a good Reuben? Is it like sauerkraut on it?
I can't even explain it all. It's the combination of the way everything is put together and the crispiness level of the bread and toast. It's toasted, but it's grilled.
It's
so
grilled,
it has to, yes. And then, there's so many, don't even get me started. I'm hungry, apparently. I need to eat a Reuben, but Side Street has a really good one.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Awesome. Mitch, where do you like to eat?
Worst beer hall. It's
Worst.
easy question. Yes. Just can't have enough of the Spätzle mac and cheese.
Oh my gosh, that stuff is
And
ridiculous.
the sausages, the worst sausages.
The worst.
The
It's the worst in town.
Yep.
Is that their slogan?
Yeah.
They have
Always
all
reminds
the
me
sauces.
of Primus Sucks. The slogan.
yeah. Nice.
All right, you want to ask the last question?
So how can fans gain access to your music?
Well, they can stop by the website for sure at theginapowersband.com. And there's some links on there. They can check it out. Check out YouTube, Facebook. Of course, you could listen here because we've got some songs.
Yes.
So you could just put that on repeat.
You could
That
say
would
they
be
can
fun.
find it on our podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Find it on the podcast. And we also have a new album coming out too. So we hope they do go look. We hope you do go look because we've got some new music coming out.
I'm super excited about that.
Oh my gosh, we're
Can't wait to
super
hear it.
excited, Peter. I'm glad you're excited.
I am. Like, you guys have been at Bitzer
We have. Yep.
doing that?
Yep.
Yeah.
We've been at Bitzer and at BAM Studios
In BAM.
working hard diligently on the album, working with Sean Smalley producing, and
Yeah, great.
we're just having a blast. Cannot wait to get this out. We've got a few songs. We've got a few songs out there, some teasers, some tastes, a couple small bites.
Right?
But and we're gonna give you a few tonight. But
Sweet.
yeah,
Sweet.
but there's more to come. More to come.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I want one.
You can have 5. You can have
Yes.
5 or 6.
In case I want to listen to it twice, 5 times. Well, Mitch, you got anywhere else you want to?
I think she's listed it all already. Yep.
Yeah.
On the internet.
All on the
Pretty
internet.
accessible.
Yep. The Gina Powers Band, Facebook, everywhere, Instagram, Twitter. We've got stuff. Drop us a
We're not on
line.
TikTok.
Oh, we're not on TikTok. Yeah, that's new.
What's that? I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even
I-
want to know what that. Yeah, I don't know what.
I'm not ready for that yet.
Jeez Louise.
So should we do one more song and sign off?
Absolutely. And it was great having you guys. And I'm sorry that it was so hard, but it's going to work this time. It's going to be so awesome.
We are so happy to thank you for giving us the opportunity to just chat a little bit about music. Fargo Moorhead's a really cool place to play music, and
Right.
it's because of people like you that are just doing cool things. So thanks.
It's because of people like you.
Love a fest.
You're
Love
so
this.
supportive
I'm
of the music scene, and you're so nice to everybody. You want everyone to be involved, and it's just wonderful.
Thanks,
So
Peter.
just keep that energy going out there.
I'm gonna try putting good things into the world, one song at a time.
Nice.
Although, maybe I've put some crap into the world too. I don't know.
I hope so.
I'm sure I put a couple stink bombs out there, and it won't be the last time. Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
you.